Hello all, welcome to the YouTube channel of Chamali Devi Institute of Pharmacy Indore. Today we are going to discuss one of the important issue of the society that is relating with the children, that is ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or we can also know it as ADD, Attention Deficit Disorder. ADHD or ADD, also known as Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, is a mental disorder of the neurodevelopmental type. It is characterized by problems paying attention, excessive activity, or difficulty controlling behavior which is not appropriate for a person's age. It is an important issue that parents are becoming more curious about each day as it becomes increasingly common. According to American Psychiatric Association, 8.4% of the children in the US have ADHD. The main point is that it causes learning difficulties and various problems in children and may affect their future success. People with this may act without thinking about what the result would be, or will be overly active. Children with the ADHD are able to retain information which they use daily, but they often have difficulty with what's called working memory, meaning the updating or mentally rearranging of information in the mind. So they develop with the lack of working memory. It is a neurobehavioral disorder of the childhood and sometimes referred as Attention Deficit Disorder (ADD). It is usually first diagnosed in the childhood and often lasts into adulthood too. Children with the ADHD have troubles in their behavior, have trouble on focusing and behaving at one time or another in a confusing manner. Children with the ADHD do not just grow out of these behaviors. There are some of the categories of the symptoms which are usually associated with the children. You can classify ADHD children on the basis of the symptoms they usually show. The three categories include inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. When you talk about inattention, the children doesn't follow directions or do not finish their task. They doesn't appear to be listening, doesn't pay attention and makes careless mistakes, forgets about daily activities, has problem organizing daily tasks, doesn't like to do things that require sitting still, often loses things and tends to be daydreaming. The second type of children used to be overactive, or they comes under hyperactivity category. They can't stay seated, have trouble playing quietly, is always in a state of moving such as running or climbing on the things, talks excessively, is always on the go or if driven by a motor. The third category of the children shows their symptoms in the sense of impulsivity. They have trouble waiting for his or her turn, blurt out answers and interrupt others. So whenever a child who is having all such symptoms, they are definitely affected with Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder ADHD. So here the question is that what causes ADHD? The possible causes of ADHD may include some of the genes or some chemicals. Brain chemicals in the people with the ADHD may be out of balance, like dopamine. Genes ADHD may tend to run in the families, so it can be transferred to the offspring too. Brain changes. Areas of the brain that control attention are less active in the children with the ADHD. If we talk about other possible causes, it may include poor nutrition or some infections. It may include smoking, drinking, or substance abuse during pregnancy that affects baby's brain development. It may include some of the toxins such as lead that affects child's brain development. It may affect by the brain injury or the by brain disorder when the front of the brain is damaged, front part of the brain, that is the frontal lobe, is damaged. It may cause problems controlling impulses and emotions. So these are the possible causes which are there behind this disease or disorder ADHD. Now, what are the risk factors for ADHD or ADD? Risk factor increases your chances of developing a disease or condition. The more risk factor coexists, the higher the chance of getting the disease. If we talk about the risk factor for the ADHD, that include the gender, heredity, age, maternal factors, toxins, premature birth, head injuries, heart conditions, and Turner syndrome. When we talk about gender, ADHD in girls is less common than in boys. Boys are more susceptible for ADHD disorder. When we talk about heredity, ADHD may run in families and especially in twins. If we talk about age, the risk is higher between the age group of 3 to 6 years. When talking about maternal affairs, high blood pressure, smoking during pregnancy, mental health condition increases the risk of having ADHD. Toxins like polychlorinated biphenyls or PCBs, lead or pesticides may increase the risk of developing ADHD. One of the main causes is the premature birth. If the baby is born before the start of the 37th week of the pregnancy, it may have ADHD. When the baby is having any brain injury at a younger age, they affect the risk. Being born with a serious heart condition, then also it's risky for the ADHD. Or the Turner syndrome, which is a kind of a genetic condition, it may increase the risk of getting ADHD. Now the complications which results because of the ADHD for the children, if a child with the ADHD is not treated with the adequate ADHD treatment, this may lead to the development of certain emotional and physical complications in the child, such as learning disabilities, trouble building relationship with the peers, social difficulties, oppositional defiant disorder, accidents and injuries, substance abuse, delinquent or risky behavior, excess weight and eating disorder, bipolar disorder, poor self-esteem, depression, anxiety, sleeping problems, as well as bedwetting. So these complications can be there in the children which are having ADHD. If we talk about the ADHD can equally found in the adulthood too. And if it is there in the adulthood, the signs of that person would be, he might be unorganized, easily frustrated, included in the chronic boredom, trouble concentrating when reading, may have mood swings, depression, relationship problems, chronic lateness and forgetfulness, anxiety, low self-esteem, problem at work, trouble controlling anger, impulsiveness, or substance abuse or addiction that results into the adulthood. So there are a number of medications available for treatment of this ADHD. It may include some of the stimulants, some non-stimulants, some of the antidepressant drugs. Some of the stimulants, although it may seem unusual to treat ADHD with a medication that is considered a stimulant, though it is effective. Many researchers think that stimulants are effective because the medication increase the brain chemical dopamine, which plays essential roles in thinking and attention. So some of the stimulants like amphetamine, dexmethylphenidate, dextroamphetamine, lisdexamphetamine and methylphenidate. These are the analogues which may be used for as a stimulant for ADHD. If we talk about the non-stimulants, these medications take longer to start working than the stimulants, but can also improve focus, attention and impulsivity in a person with the ADHD. Doctors may prescribe a non-stimulant if a person had bothersome side effects from the stimulant, if a stimulant was not effective or in a combination with the stimulant to increase the effectiveness. So for example of the non-stimulants medications which given to the children includes atomoxetine, clonidine, guanfacine. The next category of the medication which is used to prescribe generally is the antidepressant. Although antidepressants are not approved by the US FDA, especially for the treatment of ADHD, antidepressants are sometimes used to treat adults with the ADHD. Older antidepressants called tricyclics sometimes are used because they, like a stimulant, affect the brain chemicals norepinephrine and dopamine. So the antidepressants like bupropion and venlafaxine, they are quite effective against ADHD. Now the treatment focus on the changing behavior. See, ADHD is a kind of problem that is more because of the abnormal behavior. So one need to treat the person in a way so that it may change the behavior of the child or the adult. So here in this way we can go for some special education which helps the children learn at the school. We could have the treatment which based on the behavioral modification. With the help of a counseling with the psychiatrist, we can handle their emotions and frustrations as well as improve their self-esteem, which included as a part of the psychotherapy. We also used to have some social skill training, sessions who can treat or who can teach behaviors such as talking turns, taking turns and sharing. This all includes the treatment part apart from the medication which are involved. So whenever a person is there who is having ADHD, so there are some of the ADHD calming strategies. It includes the positivity, stay positive, meditate yourself, take a good sleep, reduce external stimulation, reduce it by take a break out of the work, exercise well, play with your pets, listen good music, go for the sunlight, have vitamin D from the sunlight, get creative and go close to the nature. So the mood would be changed and ultimately the behavior would be changed. So this is all about ADHD. Thank you all. Have a nice day.